Hello, everyone.
I'm Scary.
And I'm Dustin. This is Stud or Scrub. Who's who? You decide. Thank you for joining us for this, our 188th installment of Scar and Charlotte Practice Tournaments, meta thoughts, and lists as we discuss the world of competitive 40K and all the tournaments we've been attending, all the tournaments we're going to be attending, because, oh my God, there's so many. It is a beautiful time to be a 40K player in the tournament scene. So, let's get started because there's a lot to cover.
There's a lot to cover, lots of events. I'm excited. We've got a good show for you today, and we did have a bit of a hiatus, but that's because we just need to make sure that every show is meaty and delicious.
And also because Bridvin was across the country. So
No, it's not my fault. Don't you try and push that on me, sir.
that is literally your fault. Like,
oh, well. Oh, fine,
yeah,
I'll accept
right.
it.
At least take accountability for this shit. Come on now. But let's talk about why you weren't here.
Yes, because I am too good for the show. So I decided to...
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Probably won't see you next week because I think the show's over.
That's it. We're done.
All right. This has been Stud or Scrub. Hope you all enjoyed the show.
And apparently we're all scrubs. So there. Yeah, so, a couple of events. We had our 5-person teams where you and I finally got to be on a team again. Only took forever from that to happen.
Again, your fault. But anyway...
yes, absolutely my fault. And it's nice because we get to do that again soon. So we ended up playing at the TGX 5-strong teams, so 5-person teams, which was awesome. Oh yeah, that was really fun. I can't wait to sort of break that down. And then my first sponsored trip with the Red Dragon for the season over to Vancouver, British Columbia, where I got to play at the Wet Coast GT, which was a 184-player major.
Beautiful.
Which was awesome. Biggest event other than like the GW event that I've been to in Canada. It's been running for a very long time. I've always wanted to go for quite a few years, and I finally got to go. So very excited I got to do that.
Yeah, it's a great event there. I've heard nothing but good things. I do want to make it out there one year as well. So glad you got to go. Looks like a fun event.
It was great. Yeah, I got to go and film a battle report with Play on Tabletop, which was really fun as well, a nice little production. So it was basically fly in on the Thursday, film the bat rep, like a long bat rep. It was like 10 hours worth of work on the Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday. It's 3 rounds on Saturday and 3 rounds on Sunday for a full GT, which was really good. You know, so the games themselves. Well, first of all, I've been toting around playing my Drukhari, of course, because that's kind of what I play. And little did you know, Dustin, let me tell you, this faction is pretty fun.
I didn't know.
And no, you didn't?
Oh, I didn't know.
Let me tell you.
I did. Oh, okay.
And I've been running this detachment called the Cabalite Cartel, which has been a lot of fun to play. Very different than the meta sort of like spectacle of Spite List. But what's really funny is I thought I was going to be sort of like a bit of a snowflake running the list, but there was a lot of people running the Cabalite Cartel. Like,
so you're telling me that in the country that you're well known as the Drukhari player, the players that were there at your event that you were at were playing the same thing that you were playing?
Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't.
Fucking shocker. Just shocker, buddy.
Like the top Dark Eldar player actually went. I did not go. I went 4-2, so I lost a very close game at the end against Adam and his grizzled company by 1 point at the end of But it was such a good game, very, very good. And I lost against John McAfee in my third round of the first day against his Necrons. Also a very close game, just about eight points or so. And so all in all, it was just a lack of practice really with the list. And I've since tweaked the list a little bit, fine-tuned it, and I'm now about 20 games in. So I feel the list is very honed in personally. I did have a 60% opponent game win percentage, so that's pretty good. It means that the people who I played were decent at playing Warhammer, which was good.
Very eloquently put.
Yeah, exactly. Like it means that they won 60% of their games after that. So or like throughout the whole event. So it's like a good solid run. Round one, I again ended up playing Lucas Stern, and he. So I don't know anybody listening, but they
You
used
don't know
to be this
anybody
thing
listening? That's not true.
I said I don't know if what I meant to say. Sorry, I'm really tired. My meds are wearing off. I do apologize. My brain is a little frazzled. I woke up I've been filming since 9 a.m.
It's okay. I'm here to make fun of you for it. So it's fine.
10:30 p.m.
Don't worry about
and then I had to drive like 3 hours through Toronto traffic and do coaching calls.
Uphill both ways, no shoes.
Not that it's just I'm tired. Okay,
The point is you're tired.
and I have to play Adeptus Mechanicus in this campaign we're filming at Mini Wargaming.
Oh,
and let me tell you how many overlapping rules Adeptus Mechanicus have to get like I need battle line for this, and I have to be within 6 inches for that, and I have to do so many things in the command phase, and and I have to jump over hoops, and it has to be a full moon, and then I just kill stuff, but I have to roll 50,000 dice. So just saying. But Lucas runs a YouTube channel called Void Fire Tactics, and they do live streams, 40K live streams. And so he came out and was like, Scary, you're flying all the way out of here. I'd love to play another streamer and content creator. So I'm going to challenge you round one. Now, by the way, like grudge matches are not common at events of this size anymore. This is not exactly something that you really do anymore. Like this is like an oldie, but a goodie. You can tell that the person who's been running these, I think his name's Dan or Dave. He's been running it for like 15 years or 20 years. Like he's old school.
It's a long time.
So it was really cool. So I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't even know what Lucas was playing. I was like, yeah, I'll play you. No problem. I show up and he's playing Green Tide Orcs. He's got like 150 boys. And I'm like, oh, this will be a good test for my little Drukhari army that is, has some shooting, right? And then I ended up tabling him in 4 turns. I was like, okay, so first, it was a great game, super fun. A couple of disappointing mistakes on his part allowed me to kind of shoot a couple of trucks early on in the game. And then I basically was able to focus on one big 20-strong brick at a time. And I was surprised at how shooty my list is, Dustin. My list does more shooting than I expected.
That many reps, and you're surprised by how much shooting it does? Man.
Well, I have lots of reps with Dark Eldar in general, but not necessarily with, I'd only played about 6 games with Kabalite Cartel before this event. And 5 of them were at the TGX. And my list had changed from TDX to this, so it was like now it was just like continuing to practice this list, basically.
Yeah,
right.
Well, tournaments are a good way to practice it. That's for sure, because it really puts it.
That is true. And lots of games back to back to back, you're sort of forced to use the units that you've put in your list. Mm-hmm. I love developing a list and then going to a small, usually an RTT, like 3 games or 4 games in a day.
Those are usually the best ways to start it.
Correct, to kind of get like a quick feel for what you're developing and testing. Now, some folks will put a day of TTS aside and they'll just sit down in front of the computer and test a list concept for multiple days in a row or whatever. Or a day, just like from start to finish, and have like multiple people like lined up to play games with. I cannot do that. I will literally explode.
I'd pull my hair out. Actually, I've already done
that. My brain would not enjoy that one bit. So that's not exactly something I wanted to do. But moving on, second round, I ended up playing against Jason and his Necrons, and he was playing Star Shatter. Now, this was the first real event where we had like stupid Catan.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, don't get me wrong. Catan, like, stupidity of Catan is a relative term for me personally because it doesn't matter how good they are. They'll always kill any Dark Eldar that they look at.
Yep.
So them doing more damage doesn't matter to me.
Yep, I'm the same way.
And they were already really annoying to kill. So, like, them being more durable is the same. The thing that really changes is their movement. They move 10 now.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a lot harder to sort of like isolate them into like a little part of the battlefield and be like, you're stuck in this little corner and you can't really interact in the game. But I was able to. It was a close game. I only won by like 15 points.
That's good. Well,
yeah, it was.
It's what your list is good at too, right? Like I've played
Correct.
the new Satan, I think 6 times now. I have killed a total of 3 Satan, but I've not lost to it yet. I was like, fuck it. I'm not gonna bother killing them. I'm just gonna score them.
Yeah, my Cavalite Cartel list will kill a Katana half easily every turn.
That's crazy.
Like without like break, it was insane. I did not expect this at all. But it was awesome. It was like you put a Catan out there, I'm just gonna kill it. Like before, it was like, oh, let's see if I kill it. Now you put it out in the middle of the board, I'm like, it's dead, and I will be able to kill half the Wraith squad or whatever, right? Like it is the damage value of. It's not Spectacle of Spite. Like there's not like stupid shenanigans that break the game, but it's definitely got some hitting power, which I really like. So that was a really fun game. He was playing Star Shatter, and then I played against John. That was a very close game as well. Came down to the end of the match where he basically just had to move the 2 wraiths that were left onto an objective to get tempting target and secure no man's land when he had like 2 units left. He had like the Nightbringer and those 2 wraiths left, and that was it. You know, and because it was hidden supplies, he got hold more as well for holding his home. And I had just come off of a turn 5 where I did 0 secondaries because 2 of his units lived with like 1 wound left right at the end of the game, and I was like, right. So it was like one of those like nail biters that I lost by like 10 points, even though he got like 25, almost 30 points in the final turn. So it was insane. Oof. That was my first loss. Then I ended up playing as another Necrons. Then I ended up playing into Alec and his Death Guard. Alec was testing for team play. So even though he started kind of having a bit of a tougher time towards the end of the game, he was being very diligent about trying to get as many differential points as possible.
Yes, attaboy, Alec. That's how you do it.
Correct. So he was like, look, normally I'd like be like, look, you've got this game or whatever, that's fine. But he's like, I'm gonna try and get every point I can. And I was like, props on him for doing that. He was playing Virulent Victorum, which is still a very tough matchup. Yep. But as I found out with Cavalite Cartel, I dropped Morty without even shooting my Darklance Scourge at him.
I see.
That
Ravagers? Was all the Ravagers? Is that what it does?
I just have 2 Ravagers. The Ravagers are only 1 damage at Morty when he -1 wounds, -1 damages, right?
Sure.
It was literally just all the little Cavalite units where reroll hits and wounds because he was on an objective with lethal hits. And then like the Ravager did some damage, and then like he had like 1 wound left, and I just tossed a grenade at him. So I like killed him with a grenade so he couldn't shoot me back.
That's fair.
Just like reactive shoot back. That felt really funny. I was like, yeah, take that, Morty. So that was fun. That was a good game. And then I ended up going into Steve Miller and his Eldari. That was I won that by 16 points on Purge the Foe. He had an avatar in and like a giant brick of Dire Avengers. Like I've always thought that this would be a good unit, but having it played against me, I was like, more people would benefit from having this unit in their list. This unit is quite good. Like the amount of shots that comes out of this unit is insane.
It's not that expensive either. I feel like it's actually pretty,
with Azurban, and you've got the old Fire Invades. You can bounce in and out of a Wave Serpent. You know, you don't have to like go into combat and use the Wave Serpenty things. And he had the avatar. So for the first time in a long time playing against this detachment, I got to see the one stratagem that most people never use because they don't take an avatar. Do you know what the stratagem is, Dustin?
Not a clue.
Okay, so it's a stratagem that increases the range of the avatar's gun to 18 inches and makes it like straight 8 damage or something.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and do you know how many tanks he killed with this thing? All of my tanks. Like he'd spend 1 CP and it's like, oh, is that a very, very far away tank? Dead. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not something I expected from the Avatar of Kane. It was cute. It was funny, cute. And then but being Purge, it kept it like super close. We just kept on killing everything. It was a bloodbath. And then last but not least, I played Adam Green, good old Adam, and his guard. Came down to the end of the game. It's a tight match. He beats me by 1 point, 89 to 88 points. So very high scoring game on both sides. And he comes down, he draws his cards and goes, okay, I need to fall back from this Ravager to hold this objective because I'm going to give myself plus 1 OC plus on leadership. So I pass my battle shock test. I fall back so you can't attack me. Or I fall back, I overwatch him. Ravager doesn't hit at all with sustained hits, so I don't kill the model. So that's 5 points that he got for that, plus another 5 points or whatever. And then he needs to kill the Mandrakes, comes down to the last 5-up invul save on this Mandrake, and I fail it with a reroll. And the Mandrake dies, he gets a full marked for death and beats me by 1 point.
Oof.
Wild game.
Wild.
Oh yeah, crazy, crazy game. But that was very fun. So great way to end the tournament. And a good run for the Cartel. I cannot wait to keep on testing it.
So, from your perspective right now, is Cartel better than Spectacle?
I think if I wanted to win games, I would just take Spectacle. Because, like, I'm going to be truthful here. You know what I mean?
I think if I wanted to win, no, it's not better. Well, okay, right. I mean, that's pretty clear. That's cut and dry. All right, I like it.
If I wanted to win games, I would be running Spectacle, right? Like, I'm going to win games with Cartel because I feel like I can play Cartel well. But Spectacle of Spite breaks the game.
Yep.
Right? It just plays not Warhammer.
That is correct.
Right? It plays this like, it just puts this in front of your opponent and makes your opponent's brain explode. And your opponent either has like a solution for this problem, or they don't. There's not really any middle ground on this.
Yeah.
Right? And I just believe that that's kind of how that is.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's cut and dry. I appreciate the candor, so...
Yeah, and the reason that I'm playing this is not necessarily that I don't want to win. Like, yes, I can play games with Cavalry Cartel and win games as well. It's because I feel that Spectacle of Spite is very powerful, but it sort of relies on a crutch, right? The crutch being the, super cheap battle line units. So witches are fantastic for what you get in there. The drugs are great in terms of, the drug chart is very easy to use. You can maximize on it. But what it does is it relies on this one stratagem that could very easily just disappear, right? So if you're like a player that enjoys the Dark Eldar and you're like enjoying that, right? Enjoy your ride with Spectacle as you can. Like when I'm playing like team events or whatever, and I'm like testing for Team Canada or whatever, like I'm going to be running the what I consider the more powerful detachment. However, it just stops you from scoring objectives. It's a very good denial list, and it just relies on a stratagem that's a crutch that at any point could get changed or eroded, and then all of a sudden that whole sort of list crutch sort of disappears, I feel. And the whole dynamic of that list, the sort of identity of what's made that list good, I don't think survives so like a balancing of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So you really think it's going to get a hit, though? Like, is Drukhari's win rate high enough that it will get nerfed?
I don't think if Drukhari itself will get nerfed, but if it is something, because the thing is, it's like it's not exactly not a feels bad, right? Like it doesn't really play the game. Does that make sense? So I could see them balancing it based on the fact that it doesn't really follow the conventions of regular Warhammer.
See, I could
It
see
kind of
that if they had a reason to pay attention to it, because I find the rules team in general doesn't actually nerf anything unless it has some kind of visibility on a global scale.
well, not only visibility, they tend to sometimes look at some stuff that's like feel bad mechanics or things that are like non-interactive
Or if Josh
and
Roberts
like
plays against it.
right, and then finds out that it's not interactive. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So it's like so I can see it being sort of like that non-interactive side where they'd be like, you know what, like let's change the timing on it so that it matches any of the other charge you like stratagems, which is at the end of the charge phase you can charge or whatever, right?
Hmm.
Like, and if you do something like that, it goes into normal conventions of playing like what Space Wolves can do in their detachment, or there's a couple other detachments that can do that. I think I don't know, Imperial Fists or Salamanders have one or whatever, like some Space Marines. And it's like, and as soon as you do that, it's the whole dynamic of that just disappears. Like it doesn't really do the same because witches do not survive until the end of the charge phase
Hmm.
to do anything. So I don't know. Or they kind of like they make witches more expensive and they go, you know what, everybody's taking 60 witches. So let's make witches 10 points more expensive or 15 points more expensive. And all of a sudden, right? Now you have like 10% less of a list or 15% less of a list, and then the efficiency just changes drastically and the whole dynamic of the list doesn't really kind of pay off anymore, right? I don't know. So I've been enjoying a list that sort of forces me to play Warhammer, and I feel like it's more robust in terms of potential changes to rules and things like that, where I don't think they would change this detachment much at all because it's very meh. Like it's okay. It just does damage and kind of is going to float beneath the radar.
Yeah, okay. All right, makes sense.
And that is my 2 cents.
That was a lot more than 2 cents, but we'll give you
That
some
is
change. Don't worry
that.
about it.
I'll take the change.
We'll
I'll
take the
take the
change.
change. Thank you.
Let's talk about TGX for a bit here too, because we want to make sure we give them their day in the sun with Stutter Scrub. Because definitely friends of the show. We love that event. Always fun to go to. We didn't get to go last year,
Always.
so I'm glad we got to go this year.
Yeah.
And the hall was way better than the last one we were at. Like I liked this hall. I like that hall a lot. A lot of space.
It was very
there.
good.
Yeah. Close enough to places that we could get something to eat nicely, so it was good. I liked it a lot. The games, as always, nothing but great people, great games. I can't say enough good things about this community the way it is right now. The competitive scene, the team scene, everything. Everybody is just great right now, and I love it. I'm very happy where we are in our tournament scene, local and global, from the sounds of it too, for the most part. Like I can't speak for some because I haven't been there, but I really like where our competitive scene is at right now. I love that we have good judges. I love that we have good players. There's no real gotchas that are like prominent around the world right now. Like we're not getting these stories or these drama things that are getting posted by all the other
Right.
YouTube channels every week about what happened over the weekend of this gotcha or this cheating or whatever. Like it'll come up every so often because it's just there'll always be something, but it's not as prominent as I felt like it was. Like I feel like we're really streamlining everything of where the competitive scene is going right now, and it feels good to go to these tournaments, if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely makes sense. We had a good crew to go too. Why don't you kind of break down our stud squad for this?
Yeah, the guys that actually stayed loyal to us this time. So it was actually
That's
kind
right,
of funny because
Yoko.
the TGX, I feel like we were playing like musical chairs around teams because there were so many people from so many different teams spread across numerous different teams they normally don't play on. It was kind of funny that way. It's like we had Diogo split off, we had Christian split off, but we took some of the OGs. So you and I went, and then we had Dicky as well with his Tau. I guess I should mention I was playing GSC and you were playing Drakari. I was in case anybody.
That's kind of how. Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of. I was playing
Yep.
Brood Brothers specifically. That's my favorite list right now. We also had Jeff on his Votan. I think he was still using 40 Berserkers in that one. He wasn't doing the full 60 anymore, but he was 40 and it felt
No, it was the Votan. Like very, very, very cool list, honestly. He was having a blast,
Oh, yeah,
like making those Berserker units go from 0 to, oh, look, I have 10 more. again.
Yeah, no, he was having a lot of fun with it. That did well. And then we had Cody on bullshit. Scintillating Legion bullshit. That list is dumb. It is so dumb, especially in teams. If you get that list into the right pairing, there's nothing a lot of lists can do against it. Just nothing. They can't kill them. They can't interact with them, and they just die because they can shoot you out of line. Say the shooting on those birds is unreasonable. It is actually
It is
unreasonable.
insane.
With it, now that it's flat 3, at D3 at least you had like a little bit of a chance of surviving some of that stuff. The flat 3 change really put them over the top.
Yeah, like their damage went from like okay to now they do damage.
Now they could
like,
kill. They threaten everything like
stuff.
regularly. They could they threatened it before because it was D3s. Like, so yeah, there could be 3 damage every single shot, but it wasn't. Yeah. Let's be real, it wasn't. And they wouldn't rely on it to be that way. Now that they know that it's always 3 damage, they can rely on it to do that. They are just scary for any elite army because. they'll pick it up and they'll score.
Well, good old Vitrix guard do not want to go into that.
Well, no, but they had now that they're 3 wounds, they don't. When there are 4 wounds, it was a little bit better, but now that they're 3 wounds, like nope, want nothing to do with it, nothing at all. But 4 up rerollable invulns is obnoxious too, so even surviving. And of course, they're going to have Bellacore, so they have lone op within 18. Anyway, yeah, that was his list, and that was our team. And we did pretty well. We, I think we...
Yeah, we had a good time.
We won 3, lost 2? Won 3, lost 2, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
a couple of them were very close.
Yeah, like we only lost against Blunt Force by a few points, so we only lost both of them by a few points. So, and we were there for fun, too. You weren't bringing your win list because you're bringing your cartel, right? So...
That's right.
Yeah. Like, we're always there for the vibes. That's what we got. We got our vibes, and I hope people always have the fun playing with us. That we have our credence, right? Our credence with the Stunner Scrub team is. Do you remember what it is, Scary? You don't remember what it is, do you?
Credence with the team?
Yeah, our credence.
Just do your fucking job.
Well, yeah, that is part of it. Yes.
Is that a slogan? Credence slogan?
That's a slogan. Do we need a slogan? No.
No.
I mean, do your job.
Like 5. It was just 5. Like that's kind of that's how we roll.
Our creators playing us is always a good time, but never an easy time. Because we will put up a fight.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
So I should actually try next time, is what you're saying.
No, I wouldn't say it was an easy time, right? But it's always a good time. That's what we want.
Correct.
Always a good time. That's the main goal. That's always the main goal. So we had fun doing that. Because we're not these gotcha players, but there are a lot of those out there, by intention or not intention. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so that's actually we wanted to talk a little bit about sort of like not necessarily gotcha hammer. Like this is it was something that you and I were discussing before we decided like what we wanted to talk about today, and it actually because we ended up kind of discussing it a little bit, we thought, hey, why don't we
stop talking about it now and then talk about it on the podcast instead?
Correct, exactly.
We have that,
might as well.
Thing.
So the question that I had kind of posed to us was, okay, so we all know that we don't want to play Gotcha Hammer, right? We don't it's not a fun thing to experience getting gotcha'd. It's also not you also don't want to be the person that gotchas your opponent.
Yes.
Right?
Whether intentionally or unintentionally, that's the thing.
Correct. Intentionally or what would
you
be...
can definitely do it unintentionally. A lot of people do that without meaning to.
Correct. So it's like, okay, so why don't we discuss a little bit about how, or like tips and tricks to not unintentionally do something that your opponent would consider a gotcha? Yeah.
So start off by defining what a gotcha actually is for those listeners that don't really know what a gotcha is, Ribbon.
So a gotcha is something where I feel, in essence, because you can probably describe gotcha in a lot of ways, a gotcha is sort of like a withholding information when you know your opponent's decision-making process understands the information that they need from you, but they don't necessarily vocalize this.
Mm-hmm.
And you decide to not elaborate or sort of like not necessarily assist them, but like say something during their decision-making process that they clearly are trying to sort of like either avoid or do that you know is going to either be possible or impossible based on information that you can withhold.
Yeah.
And then springing it on them or doing something that will then sort of mess up their whole thought process. And it's a feel bad because your opponent is trying to say, screen out the backboard or whatever, or, you know, make a charge happen or get a shot that like get a shot on you and you have like a lone up stratagem or a reactive move or you have a 6-inch deep strike, right? But they're screening out their 9-inch deep strike,
Yeah,
for
so
example.
I think
like little things like that
most,
that can lead to a gotcha.
The most common example of it that I come across the most is the deep strike, like getting zoning out deep strikes. If, for example, like somebody's actively zoning out and they're saying, okay, I want to make sure you can't get back here, zoning out this 999. Now, a gotcha would be going back there, starting to measure, oh, actually, you left the gap here, so I'm going to deep strike here. Now,
yeah,
what we expect of you in that sense? Like, if your opponent is doing that, then just give them a little hand. Go over there, have a little measure. Yep, that's 9. Yep, you're good. Like, just to confirm it kind of thing, instead of just watching them do it for 20 minutes and then going over to measure it yourself afterwards. Then you're like looking for gotcha. There's a lot of people that do that to me because I have a lot of units, so I'll like zone. All right, 9-9. Okay, and then they just go, oh, so did you leave me anything? Like, you could check. I mean, but they could have done that earlier
right.
too.
Like, yeah, exactly. And I think one of the like I think we had a conversation. Did we had that chat on pet peeves that we were going to have,
Not
or is
yet.
that another topic?
That's another topic.
So that like so I'll break
Save
down
that.
the pet peeves and stuff. That's when we do our pet peeves episode. Which, by the way, if you have pet peeves in this hobby, make sure you leave a comment or go to the Discord and leave us a comment for the next episode or when we do that show.
Yeah.
It's like what your pet peeves in
Pet
Warhammer
peeves in Warhammer
are.
40K are.
Right.
Upcoming episode.
But it is one of those things where like, okay, so my opponent is measuring like they're like screening out.
Yep.
And they're like measuring their 9. They clearly do not want you to deep strike behind them.
Yep.
Right? They are trying their best to make sure that you don't have a spot to deep strike, which you have to give credit to your opponent. They are trying to do the tactical thing. Right? Like they know what they're
important.
Correct. They know what they're doing, right?
Yep.
And they're measuring out, and they're kind of, and this is the difference between intent and not intent. I believe we've had did we talk about like
yes.
intent and stated intent? Okay.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about stated intent. And a lot of the times with stated intent, and there is a great, like, I feel like it goes both ways because, and we'll talk about this, there's a lot of gotchas and stuff and situations that then become the quote unquote gotcha situations, which are like, it's like there is a double standard. I'm going to say this right. There's like a double standard for what is considered gotchas, but I think you have to develop a habit of talking out your turn more than anything else. Number one.
Yeah, whatever you're doing, don't just think it, speak it.
You have to speak it.
Because remember, your opponent has access to all of the information that you do. So it's not like you're telling them something they don't already know.
Correct. Generally speaking. But the thing is, it's like, okay, so say your opponent is vocalizing, okay, you can see they're measuring 9, right? So they're measuring out their 9, but they don't necessarily say, I want to make sure you don't deep strike within 6, right? So they're measuring out their 9, and they're like, okay, so you can't deep strike back here, right? And if you have a 6-inch deep strike and you go, that looks screened to me or whatever, like, then you're going to just gotcha your opponent.
That's just lying. That's outright lying.
That's just straight up lying. So, like, you need to be like, don't forget that, I have a 6-inch deep strike. Now, some people might feel that divulging this information gives them a disadvantage and is essentially playing their opponent's game for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you right now from experience that if you know how to play the game of Warhammer, the more information that you give your opponent, the better, because the game's just going to be better between the both of you. And even if your opponent then screens to 6, it is like you're forcing them to use resources differently. They have to move stuff differently. They have to put stuff in the open or like in weird situations to try and screen out this 6-inch deep strike. Right? They might have to condense their frontage, so now they have like an open hole on a flank or something like that, where if they would have just screened out 9, it wouldn't be. So it's not really a big deal at the end of the day.
No, it's
right?
not.
It forces them to play the game differently.
A lot of the time, too, your opponent will just go, fuck it, I can't do 6 inches. So this
Correct. They'll be like, I can't stop that.
Yeah.
It's fine. How many units can do 6 inches? 1. They're like, I'm just going to have to suck it up, right? Like a lot of times it'll come to that, but your opponent now has the full information.
Yep.
So you do yourself a favor. Now, in order to, so that's like what would happen if both people were on the same page.
Yep.
So one of the things you can avoid to make your opponent feel like you got a gotcha is sort of being a mind reader, right? And when your opponent is screening out a 9 inches, clearly using a 9-inch measuring stick and not saying anything, but clearly trying to zone out the backboard, that's when I will interject and say, do not forget I have a 6-inch deep strike.
Yeah.
Because I am not stupid or like a naive to what they are trying to do, and I'm not an asshole.
Yep.
Which means I'm going to say, I can see that you're not stating your intent, but you are doing something that is clearly understandable from my perspective as to what you're trying to do, which is screen out your backboard.
So you're saying...
So I'm going to tell you that I have a 6-inch deep strike so that when I do bring in my 6-inch deep strike, it doesn't feel bad, even though my opponent didn't tell me specifically that they wanted to stop me from deep striking.
So you don't just deep strike a monolith into his backfield.
So I don't just deep strike a monolith into their backfield.
Huh.
Right? I know. It's just it's just how it is. You know what I mean? Like that's sort of like that that part of the social contract is, I think, the gray area of like the social contract, right? Because people are on different sides of this issue. Some folks are very much like, if my opponent doesn't specifically state stuff, I am in no, like, I have no, I don't have to tell them anything. Like, I'm not obliged to do anything, right? Which, sure, you're within your rights. But here we are, like, the topic of this is how do you stop your opponent from feeling like you gotcha them, even though you didn't necessarily do it. Does that make sense? Right? Like, letters of the rule say that, sure, you are right, but it still doesn't feel good because your opponent had a clear idea of what they wanted to do, right? And that translates into many different things. There's a difference between somebody moving a tank and you can tell that they're not using a laser or not using a measuring tape or something to draw a line for line of sight to hide their tank. And you can tell that they're looking at this and kind of eyeballing it and not saying anything. Right? So I will be aware of this, or I'll notice it, and I'll go, do you want to hide that tank? Right? Or, I can shoot him from here, right? And they'll be like, oh, I thought that I couldn't. I'd be like, okay, well, let me help you so that you can't, because you have the right idea. You want to hide your tank, but let's make sure that it is in the right spot to be hidden so that when I get to my turn, I'm not the asshole for shooting at your tank after you said nothing.
Yeah, there's a lot of situations like that, too. I've seen a lot of, another one of the big ones that I see a lot of is the lone op strats. When somebody's obviously lining up all of their shots into a unit, but it's not within 18 inches, but you say nothing, knowing full well what they're about to do. I know this is the one that gets a lot of people in the sense that I'm not, like, I don't want to say anything because this is my strat. Like, I can't, if I say something, then it completely invalidates my strat. It's like, no, you're forcing your opponent to play the game that they know they're playing, like, because they have this information. They're just not an expert on your army as well. So seeing all this movement, you're seeing them line up shots, you're seeing them measure distances from their guns to the unit that you're going to loan up, and you say nothing, that's a gotcha. When you eventually, when he goes to shooting phase, okay, I'm going to shooting phase, I'm going to target that unit, K is going to loan up. Like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. Yeah, well, you're fucked.
Yeah, sucks to be you.
Sucks to be
right?
you. You didn't read my codex too, idiot.
Yeah. Or like I reminded you when we started the game, and
you
I
didn't specifically ask me if I had a loan up.
Sure. Or we went over our strats at the beginning of the game. I have no obligation to remind you or whatever because I already told you what my strats are, right? Like there's like there is a fine line between now, and that brings me to the flip side, which is like playing the game for your opponent. Like, you know, in most sports and other games and things like that, yes, the skill set is about remembering things and knowing about the game. It's just funny. I find it funny from that double standard, right? Where like, are you just not allowed to let your opponents make mistakes?
Yeah.
Right? So like, where's the line, Dustin? Where's this line? I think I'm too nice. So a lot of people, like, I don't think what I do is necessarily the standard.
Oh, I am absolutely too nice. Like me too. Take like, so much shit back because I just like I don't like it when they feel like they made a mistake, even though
and I don't care.
All the time.
Like, honestly, I don't care. It's fucking toy soldiers, Dustin. You know what I mean, like whatever. Like you forgot to shoot a unit or charge a unit or move a unit where you needed to or what. I don't give a flying fuck. Like you're playing with little toy soldiers and dice. You know what I mean? Like. At the end of the day, I feel like you and I are sort of like in a privileged position in the game where we have trophies.
Yep.
Right? Like we have gone to events, we have won events. You know, we have put our names on the map.
Yeah.
Right? And I guess from our pedestal, we can be like, it's fine.
I
right?
Don't give a shit.
So like does that? I guess that would influence it. Give us a little bit of bias in that sense.
You know, it's true because like I think Jeff actually said it when we were at TGX when we were all talking about like, we're here for fun. It's like pointing everybody like, yep, you've done your winning, you've done your winning, you've done your winning. Like we're done. We just want to have fun now. We're just vibing. We're enjoying the hobby the way it is, and that means we want to play the game as best as we can and help you not make mistakes too because we want you to. I don't like it when my opponent feels like they lost because of a single mistake they made, which was a silly mistake that we both just kind of overlooked. You know what I mean? Like, you literally put him there specifically to charge that unit. You just forgot the charge. Just fucking charge. Like, I don't know. Like, there's no question there. Do it.
And you know, okay. So here's a cool scenario, or here's a cool an anecdote, a story, if I may. Not a story, I guess. From my wet. Is that what a story is? Okay.
An anecdote is a short story.
Excellent. I'm learning about the English language. Nailed it. So this is from my Wet Coast GT run. And this was against Steve and his Eldari. Okay. Now, this was a whole interaction. He went first. I went second. And this was my third turn. Right? And I had rapid ingress the unit of mandrakes in the middle of the table to get hold more because he hadn't put stuff in the middle of the board. So I was able to like deep strike them in with a rapid ingress, be like a cheeky little hold more rapid ingress play, which those sort of plays I love, especially when you're doing it with like a lone op 18 unit. So your opponent can't just like randomly shoot them, right? And in my turn, I advanced this unit of mandrakes across the building on layout GW1 in the middle of the board into sort of like that L, because on the other side are 10 Dire Avengers and Jane Czar and all of the Banshees. So I'm like, I need these mandrakes to come in and just nuke these Banshees because I cannot have Jane Czar advancing a million inches and getting onto my home objective and taking away my hold one, right? And the Dire Avengers were like, well, we got something to say about this. I'm like, okay, you have 2 CP, Malice is close by, you can Overwatch. And so he spends this entire turn, just shoots 50,000 shots into these mandrakes, kills all but 2 mandrakes. Right? And then I'm continuing my turn, and then I'm like in the middle of my movement phase, and I go, oh, crap. I was like, dude, you have 0 CP, and you have Fugan and Fire Dragons in reserve still.
Oops.
I was like, that's gonna kill. That means they're gonna die. So I was like, I'm okay if you take back your Overwatch and just I'll take my Matrix back. But if you don't want to lose Fugan, I'm okay with you taking that back because I had literally forgotten you had him in reserve. And he looks at me, thinks about it, and goes, "Nope, I have to learn from my mistakes." And I was like, "Fucking good on you, man!
Yep.
That is a props to that. That was a class act. Like being like, you know what? Own up to your goddamn mistakes when you play the game.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And just learn for next time. You play a lots of like over the course of a year, you probably play lots of games. It's okay to make mistakes once in a
In
while.
fact, it's
You know
expected.
what I mean?
Like you're going to. It's going to
Correct.
happen. Nobody's perfect.
But I don't know. I do feel like it does kind of suck that there is sort of like a portion of the population or whatever that does sort of expect that sort of double standard to be like,
Yeah.
if I make a mistake, I expect you to be nice. But at the same time, it's like you want to be nice, but you don't want to be branded like the asshole, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, where is the line, Dustin? Where is this line?
The problem is we've discussed this on a previous episode too. Like the line is it's personal preference, like per person. So it's not like a
Damn it. You're
standard.
telling me it's as varied as human beings?
I know it's weird, right? But human beings are different and they perceive these things differently. So I don't know what else to tell you other than get good.
Don't we have a t-shirt for that?
We do, in
Get good,
fact.
scrub.
Get good, scrub.
I love it. Get good,
That's
scrub.
the only advice
By
I
the way,
can
we
give
have
out.
new dice, everyone. The
Oh, they're
stud or
so
scrub
nice.
dice. They're so nice. I love them. And every time I roll a stud on like a six, the stud, everybody's like, ah, and I've like burned people into their brain, being like, that's right,
Stud.
it's another stud. To the point where I think I rolled so many one game, it's like, if you roll one more stud. It was awesome. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, Dustin? I feel like at the end of the day, to avoid the gotcha hammer stuff, like it is tough because I think that it is important for like the skills that somebody has to sort of like shine through,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I think there is there's a fine line between it. And I think defining it, it sucks because not everyone has like, I don't know, the interpersonal skills
Yeah,
to
that's
sort of
another part
like,
of it, right? Because a lot of
right.
people
It's
don't
like,
have those. They don't have the either the experience or just the interpersonal skills to
right.
navigate those kind of interactions. Right? So
And it's
it's
and it's not just that, it's like maybe that's just like, it depends on your game group as well. Like for
yeah.
example, if you go to like your game group and in your game group, you're like you play a hard game of Warhammer,
Hmm.
right? Oh, no takesies, backsies, right? You go to your garages, but it's like done in like a spirit of just competition,
Yep.
not necessarily because you just want to like dick someone out of a game or whatever. But it's
Yeah.
like, no, you forget, and you just kind of move on with your life. But then you go to like an event or whatever, and you play someone who their experiences takes backs and like a little bit more lax of a game. And so, who's in the right there? They
Yeah.
both have an expectation of what's like
It's
in the right and allowed, but they're all on sort of like just opposed. They're like just completely in opposite sort of polar opposites here.
yep. They're polar opposites in that case because they have different personal experiences, different just personal preferences too. And the big thing is we've talked about this on a previous episode too, and I'll reiterate it now. Just be upfront at the beginning of the game. That's the best way to do it. Like I do not take takebacks, and I don't intend to. Like I want to play a straight up game. Just make it clear right off the bat because then you are not gotching them by not
Correct.
gotching them. If that makes sense.
Like, and I've actually had that experience, like, and I much prefer when something is like said early in the game. Like one of my like my moderator for my patron Discord, Cosmic, and someone who I've coached on and off for years, right?
Mhm.
Is him and I got to play at in Dallas
Yeah,
when
it
I was
was.
doing like one of my first events, like one of my first events on my run of last year. And and he loves a very like very tight game of Warhammer, right? That's completely fine. And he even had that conversation with me. He's like, I have this conversation with every person I play. I much prefer if we don't do any takes backs, right? Just as long as you communicate like what you're trying to do and stuff, I'm not going to try and gotcha you, but I would prefer that we played like piece moved, piece touched, piece like that, like chess style, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, awesome. And we had a very good competitive game of Warhammer, right? That was friendly and still like in good competition, but the parameters had been set. Where it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
because you
I
guys
forgot.
set the
I forgot to
expectation.
do this, but this is kind of like what we're doing, and that's fine because that is a different way of playing the game, which is completely within like is completely fine. It's just within those expectations.
That's why you got to set that expectation at the beginning of the game, because if
Correct.
you do that, then you're not going to have those feel bads as much because they know what they're getting into, and I'm personally, again, I'm the same kind of person. Like, if you want to have that kind of game, cool. I am very capable of doing that. It's not my preferred way to play, but I absolutely can.
Yeah.
I can respect the fact that you want to do it, so that's fine. No
Correct.
problem. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Now that I know that
Yeah.
we want to play a like more tight competitive game in that sense with no like lax, but like, oh shit, I forgot to do this, whatever. Cool. That's what we're doing. Done. No problem. Now that I know.
And I'll tell you a big no is don't switch it halfway through
Oh
the game.
god, yeah, that's the worst. Don't,
You know what I mean? That's just bad form.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
don't
you
set
don't
that
just
expectation
switch.
and then do a take back for yourself. Like, no. This is
Or,
not...
or the other way
Or the
around.
other
Like,
way
don't
around,
make
yeah.
it like a friendly game and then be like, well, I'm within my right to not let you take back right now or whatever, even though you've given me a few take
And
backs.
that
Like,
happens more often than the other way around because people get to the point they think they're very close to winning. It's like, nope.
Correct. And they're like,
Can't do that
no,
now.
I'm not going to give you an inch or whatever. And
Yeah.
at that point, honestly, that's like the kind of situation where I will have a talking with my opponent
Yeah.
or I will like call a judge because that's not the social convention of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're technically right, but if we've been playing the game that way the entire time, you can't just like flip it.
You don't get
That's
to flip
not
it
how
when
this
it's
works.
to your advantage. That's
Correct. And I have another little anecdote. You ready? This is like
we got so many anecdotes.
scary anecdote time. So when I was at Edmonton, I think it was the second to last or last game I played against Knight player. And my opponent, we were playing, he's playing Knights, I'm playing Index Drukari, right? And he's playing like Feel No Pain Knights. So like Super Knights. Back when they were silly. And so he charges Canis Rex into Incubi and Drazar, and he decides to say, oh, I'm just going to like tank shock or whatever, and it's for free because it's Canis, and so he tank shocks and kills the entire unit of Incubi, and then Drazar's just by himself. But Drazar was like tied up with a Warglaive and he was on the other side of this Warglaive, like kind of tucked into a building, which meant that this knight, the Canis, was not going to be able to pile in and fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of like realized that this was a mistake and was like, do you mind if I don't tank shock? And I was like, sure, whatever. Like, that's fine. Like, we've both lost a game already. It's not exactly the end of the world. Absolutely. Like, we're in the fun bracket here. We're not exactly like, playing, and that's the kind of game we've been having. Very like jovial back and forth. And it comes to like a turn or two later. And it's starting to get like, the game's getting a little tighter. And I move into my charge phase. I make a charge. And then as I'm like moving the models, I'm like, oh, sorry, I forgot to shoot this Ravager. I'm just going to shoot him at this guy that has one wound. And he kind of gave me a dirty look that was like, well, we're kind of in the charge phase, And I was like, whoa. But this is where I think standing up for yourself is important.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't just like sit there and go, oh, well, you're right. No, it's like, no, like we've been having this kind of game. You're not just going to stop me from shooting my Ravager. I'm literally just moving my charge models. Like, that's not the kind of game that we're going to have from now on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do you understand that I let you take a take back, right? And this is kind of how this works. You know what I mean? You got, right? And he's like, yeah, you're right. I was like, yes, you're fucking right. I'm right. Right? Like, you don't just get to just change the fucking dynamic all of a sudden, Yeah. So, so, luckily he was like, yeah, you're right. I was like, yeah, of course. Like, what the hell are we going to win? We're not fucking winning anything. We already lost like a game each. Like, it's not the end of the world. And then, and then we moved on with the game. At the end of the day, I don't even think it mattered. You know what I mean? Like the shots like missed or something. Like, it doesn't fucking matter most of the time.
Exactly.
It's all about being a nice person.
It is. I mean, because you have the social contract to it. But those kind of games do take a toll on you mentally because they're really good, but they are intense,
Correct.
which is why it's very important to be able to mix in other things into your repertoire of games, like palate cleansing for competitive play.
Yeah,
Palate cleansers and off-game tabletop for competitive play is very important to be a competitive player.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So let's
it's
talk about
just
that.
it's like,
Why is that though? Why is that?
why do I need palate cleansers?
Why do you need
Okay,
palate
well,
cleansers? We just talked about how intense some of these games can get when you do start doing these non-take back games. We're just doing straight up. This is like chess style. I think that's the best way to put it. Chess style 40K, where hands off a model, that's moved. You're not picking it up again. Those games are great because they're very competitive. Your mistakes are going to get punished, so you learn a lot more, and you will retain a lot more from those games. Whether you win or lose, when you get punished for a mistake, that will be burned into your brain 9 times out of 10. That's why it's actually good
correct.
to have those games sometimes, especially against other good players that enjoy playing that style of game. But it does take a toll mentally on you. That's why
Yeah,
it's important to have these kind of palate cleansers, whether it's a different army or a different game or just not competitive play. Some people, if you like, play most of those type games. Some people playing those take back games is like a palate cleanser for them because like, oh, cool, I can
yeah.
just take these mistakes and it's fine. I'll just whatever. But you had your apocalypse game.
That's very, very right. Yeah. So, well, talking about like how this works or whatever. Like I play, being that Warhammer is quite literally my job, right? Like playing Warhammer is my job.
Yeah.
Um, and in order to kind of stay sane, a lot of the time, I have to like I like making sure that I do different palette cleanses. So for every single person, it will be very like different, I presume, in terms of what you do or how you find like time in your day or like your gaming schedule to play. But I like to do something like play a game of Apocalypse once a year, where I get to bring all of my like big toys that I don't get to play normally, like my Titans and stuff.
Yep. Exactly.
And it takes like a whole weekend. I do that. I play Crusade. I play Crusade a lot. I play Necromunda. I play Blood Bowl. I play like all these games that are not necessarily competitive 40K, but it's another way of just enjoying the social aspect of the game, which is like hanging out with friends or whatever, rolling dice in a different scenario, and then not having to think about hold one, hold more, take and hold, marked for death, that sort of stuff. It's like you could just play the game where you're pushing around little war dollies and seeing if your big Titan explodes after your opponent destroys it, or if you can kill your opponent's favorite model and laugh in their face.
Yeah.
Which is also really fun.
It is. It's actually very enjoyable.
Yeah. Make little Timmy cry because you killed his favorite model.
Yeah. Poor
That's
Timmy.
that's like a key strategy. Strategy
It
101.
is. It's actually a very important strategy. In fact, I think one of the cards, one of our Gambit cards, is that I can't remember whose it is. I think it's Cody's.
Amazing.
Oh no, it's Adams. It's Adams because Adam's the dick. That's right. Adam gets off.
Which
on
is
that
your
shit.
which is your favorite card, Timmy? Or which is your favorite model, Timmy? That one dies first.
2v2 is my equivalent. John, that is like 2v2 is my favorite way to play 40K in like the non-competitive sense. Like that is the best palate cleanser. 2v2s are so much fun because they are just chaos. The amount of shit
So
you could do with them in terms of combining the lists and stuff. Oh, it's so much fun.
we did have a lot of fun at the Mike Mudd Memorial. So for anybody who's wondering, Dustin is reading off the chat because every once in a while we do a live stream for the podcast on YouTube. You can always find the Stutter Scrub channel on YouTube and give us a subscribe if you'd like. And we hang out and read chats and stuff and talk about them as we go along.
Thanks for pointing that out,
Yeah.
Scaria. Yeah, we're live
Yeah.
right now for those of you that don't know. We do this.
Well,
we do
not
this
right
live
now if you're listening.
We are
from
live
your
right
car.
now. And if you're listening to us after the fact, we are no longer live, but we're live in your ears. So I hope you're enjoying our live sounds of our voices.
The live sounds of our voices.
We were live at one
that
point.
is- Were we? We were. I think we were, and I think we did it very well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. We've done 2v2
But in terms of
twice
palette
now.
cleanse, like like other than doubles, like I've been enjoying a lot of painting recently. Like I've really enjoyed painting. more than anything. I painted like a Repulsor Executioner for my Black Templars. I've been working on a lot of my little I got a bunch of characters in my Black Templars I've been trying to paint. Like I've got a Black Templar Marshal on the go, which I'm building, and I'm kind of like touching up the Castellan and like a variety of different miniatures. I haven't actually touched or painted a Dark Eldar miniature in like 3 months.
Weird. See, for me,
Yeah, I know.
painting
It's
isn't much of a
insane.
palate cleanser. In fact, I have to force myself to bring certain things to tournaments in order to convince myself I need to paint them. Like I don't hate painting, but I wouldn't say I enjoy it as a pastime. If that's like I like the results of my painting, and I've gotten at least decent enough with it that I like how they look when I'm done with them, and I put the time and effort into it. But I only do it when I have to for like a tournament generally. So
Right.
which means I force myself to bring stuff that I wouldn't otherwise paint to tournament. That's why you might see some lists that I bring out. What the fuck is that unit doing? I needed to paint it, man. It's just been gray for too long. Okay, it's painted now. Calm down. But one of the things that I do the most, which is you'd understand this, and anybody that plays like MSU little shitter armies, the GSC Drukari would get it. That it is a very taxing army to play mentally when you have so many little things, so many activations that you have to do so many times. My best palette cleanser is just bringing my big nid models, like just monster mash,
Love
because
it.
then I don't need to think about it as much. To the point that I'm the team league I'm playing in right now. My list is a Hive Tyrant, a Swarm Lord, a Biovore, one squad of Raveners, three Norns, and a Harridan. That's the
That's
list.
awesome.
It's like
That is so cool.
where are the objectives? I stand on those while the Harridan flies around shooting shit. That's it. That's all I do.
That's
And
amazing.
it is so relaxing to play. Is it good? Absolutely not. It'll win games if I make enough 4-ups, but it's not meant to be good. It's just meant to be more relaxing. The games I'm playing, I can socialize longer. I don't need to worry about my turns. We actually had the store time our game one time because I fought the 5 Satan list with it the other day. So, all right, start the clock. We'll see how long this game takes. It was like an hour and 20 minutes, and most of that was us just shooting the shit.
That's
So
so cool.
that I need to do that, and I've realized I need to do that at some big tournaments too. I need to bring just some lists that I can turn my brain off because the big tournaments that I go to, there's so many people that I enjoy speaking with, I enjoy hanging out with, and just shooting the shit with. And when I play my GSC, I love my GSC, and I will always play them competitively. They are my army, but they are
Yep.
so mentally taxing that by the end of game, sometimes I just don't have the social capacity to do what I want to do socially. You know what I mean?
Right.
And when I go to
Yep.
these big tournaments like Canhammer, Ottawa, there's so many people I don't get to see all the time that I want to be able to interact with, and I just don't have the mental or social capacity to do it by the end of the day, and I feel terrible about that. So I feel like the next couple of big tournaments I go to for the next couple of months, I'm going to be bringing a list that is it's still my style, but it is so much easier as a mental load for me to play, so I can actually just enjoy my time and socialize with people. That's what I'm looking forward
You've
to.
just described every single GT I've been doing lately after a year of going really hard in Warhammer.
Yeah, see,
So
that's what you have to do.
considering I went to an entire year of just absolute down, like playing the most efficient thing that I could think of, and just kind of grinding and playing lots of test games and stuff. I'm having a lot of fun just playing what I want to play and not giving a flying fuck what people think.
Yep, that's the best thing. That's the best thing.
But I'm still going to try to do it to the best of my ability, right? But I'm putting all the constraints on myself.
Yeah, that's all we want too. We need to have that palate cleanser so we can give our brain that rest, be able to socialize and engage with the community more. Like not just because that we're content creators, but the community is awesome, and I love meeting new people and being able to interact with more people and having the mental and social load to be able to do that after my games. And now it's funny because when I started doing this now a little more regularly in the local scene, so now when I show up and I have my I'm using a GSC list. I can hear everybody groaning. It's like, oh fuck, Dustin's trying again. Like, oh, shut up.
Right. Just wait till I bring Spectacle of Spite
Yeah,
out,
exactly.
everybody.
Then when you see that, you'll know.
That's right. I'm gonna be
You'll
unleashed.
know Ridvan has his try hard pants on. So everybody just get out of the way.
Actually, I find that I don't even need to try hard with Spectacle of Spite. Like, I just put everything on the line, deploy terribly, shove models in front, and just go, I win.
That's
It's
terrible.
just so stupid.
That's terrible.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, I mean, it's just silly. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's what I do to decompress, like painting, hobbying, and of course, I think one of the important things is I try not to, like, as a full-time content creator, doing things that have nothing to do with making content is important to me as well.
Yep, that makes sense. And that's
So,
which I want to add to that, because you're talking about, as a content creator, doing things that don't make content are important to do, and that's an important distinction, because I think it's the same thing with competitive play. As a competitive player, it's important to do things where the competitive aspect doesn't matter.
correct.
You have to.
It's very important. So, like,
otherwise,
it's
you're
one
going
of
to
those
become one of
things-
those gotcha players and not even realize it, because it'll be so into
Right.
it.
Yeah, not only that, but if you're like you get invested. Like, you want to get invested. If you have goals and you really want to do well and things, like, get invested, but like make sure that you care about what you're doing and things like that, and do it. Like, there is a right way to do it. There's a way to do it without turning into something that you hate, right?
Exactly.
And I think that, like, as that example that I'm saying of the content creation, right? As a content creator, like, for example, that Apocalypse game that I just played, to avoid burnout, even from both competitive and content creation play, number one, like, even though I take pictures and maybe share pictures on socials, like, after I've played the game or whatever, I don't feel obliged to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this game is for me and my friends, right? That I'm playing or whatever. Like, I do not do this for anyone else other than, like, us. Like, we play Apocalypse, we have, like, a scenario, like, we have these really cool story that's happening, and, like, stuff that we had multiple tables going on. We had, like, all this stuff. But I took a couple of pictures, but I'm not like live streaming it. I'm not making a post or, like, talking really too much about the story itself. I'm just kind of maybe share that I enjoyed playing Apocalypse that weekend or whatever, but I don't feel obliged at all. And that really gives me a breather.
Yeah, it's
right?
the breather you need. Otherwise, you're going to strangle yourself with whatever you're doing. And the worst thing is to burn out. You don't want to burn out. That's why it's so important. The main reason is to prevent burnout. That's why you have to have those palate cleansers. As a competitive player, as a content creator, whatever the case may be, you need regular palate cleansers, or you will burn out, and then you will not enjoy the hobby we love anymore, and we don't want that.
Well, not just enjoy the hobby, but as a competitive player, like, getting to that mental block of kind of doing the same thing over and over again, like, it can sometimes be hard to sort of push past that mental block, and sometimes just getting that refresh, it's like taking a cold shower. You just, like, turn the cold water, like, right? And it just kind of really gives you that jolt that allows you to sort of reset a lot of the neurons in your brain. And there you can, like, if you're saying you're stumped, like, I've had this many a time when I'm building a competitive list or whatever, and I'm sort of stumped on a concept. Like, the concept itself or, like, the list itself isn't really, like, matching my mind's eye. Right, where I'm like, I have this idea, and I think this idea is really good, but everything I'm doing isn't really making this idea work. And sometimes you just need to take a step back to sort of give yourself an opportunity to be creative again, and to kind of redevelop the drive or that like want to do stuff. Right?
Yeah.
That
important.
Makes sense. Very
That's
important.
Very important.
I do think, like, in chat here, watching battle reports,
that's
helps.
Another good one.
Some people,
that's another good one too.
Some people paint, some people watch battle reports, like, tuning into something. I watch a lot of comedy stuff, like, on YouTube or whatever. Like, I just listen to comedy or watch comedy or whatever.
Think,
that kind of.
We definitely need to point out that, like, a palate cleanser for 40K still needs to be 40K related to be a palate cleanser for 40K. You know what I mean? Because it still needs to have you enjoy the hobby, but not push what you're doing regularly. If I described that properly, my words came out weird, but so
Yeah,
like,
I think you used
I
used
used
words in
words. I
English
used words in
to
English. Oh,
say
good. Well, that's a
something.
good start. That's a good start. I like that. I used words in English to say stuff. Nailed
To
it.
say something. I
I should
think you
start a. I should
nailed
start a
it.
podcast. I should start a
You
podcast,
should.
Irvin. I think it's a
You
good
should.
idea.
People care about what you
That's
have
right.
to say.
People listen to what I have to say and they write it down. They mentally remember
They
this
make
shit.
notes.
Mental note shit. All of this. That's exactly why you're here. All these
That's
mental notes.
exactly right.
And on that subject, we have a lot of people that do have questions for us, which is great with the amount of questions we're getting now. Now that we've started going live on YouTube, I've had to start checking YouTube comments because we've started getting questions on there too, which is great. I love getting questions. That has got more places to look for them. All right, so let's get into some questions here. Okay. Which faction player always owns a laser pointer? Tau.
Which faction player what?
Which
Always uses a
faction's
laser
player
pointer?
always owns a laser pointer? It's Tau. Tau.
Yeah, because nobody likes them.
Tau. It's always Tau.
Yeah,
Every Tau
that's
player.
right.
If you're a Tau player and you don't have a
They're
laser pointer,
just so annoying all the time.
could I see you? Like, I don't fucking care.
I can see your little toe.
I can see your toe.
See
Look at that
your
little antenna.
Haired antenna.
The antenna.
I can shoot you. If I can't shoot you, my whole race identity's gone.
Wow.
my whole faction doesn't do anything. This laser pointer makes me feel real.
Wow. All right. I think we covered that one pretty good. Poor Tau players, but I don't feel bad for you. What's your hottest take that would get you kicked out of your local game store?
Out of my local game store. That'd be a tough one. Oh my gosh. Necromunda sucks.
What would I think actually for me it would be Magic sucks. That would definitely get me.
Yeah, like every Friday I'd get
sucks.
kicked out of the store.
Stupid
like
game this is. What the hell is this?
Whoever spends time and money on Magic
you're
is an
paying
idiot.
$100 for this little piece of paper. What a loser! You don't even paint it yourself. What the fuck?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's right. John's gonna kill me if he hears this.
It's okay. It's okay.
I love it. That was a good question. It'd be hard to get kicked out of my local hobby store though.
Yeah, me
because
too.
I love it there.
Yeah.
The Tabletop Forge, amazing place.
They definitely put up with more than they should from both of us. I think at our local store.
I believe so. Yeah, we're two-bit celebrities.
Oh,
just
yeah, absolutely.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
just walking around
everybody
like
knows
we
who
own
we are.
the freaking
Look,
place.
the whole
blah,
place
blah,
stops.
blah.
Oh, look who it is!
Oh
They come up with
my
autographs and
gosh.
shit. Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
that Scary
crazy,
guy
man.
and that Dustin dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
total studs.
It is rough being us. I tell you, it is rough being us. All right. Oh, we got this is a longer one. I'll try to kind of narrow it down from YouTube. It's a good one though. It's a question on 40K etiquette. How do you handle casual games where your opponent brings a new model and expects you not to kill it? Like on the one hand,
kill it right away and you tell him to suck it up.
Wow. Okay. There's more to it, but I guess we know how Ridvan feels about this. On the one hand, I understand it's a new model they're excited to use. On the other hand, it's frustrating because they expect you to play around a model which has been granted temporary immortality by a social convention.
That's a great way to put it.
Despite efforts to be considerate, this has resulted in multiple feels bad situations, both involving players with much more 40K experience than myself, which has made me hesitant to participate in escalation leagues at my local game store. That sucks. Any suggestion on how to better communicate expectations or your experiences with similar situations of player etiquette would be appreciated. Is it acceptable to request that new models not receive special consideration before the match begins, or is it best to just try to play around the new models for the whole game so you don't hurt their feelings? I mean,
great question.
That's...
I will tell you right now.
Go ahead.
That if that's little Timmy's favorite model,
fuck little Timmy.
Little Timmy's gonna be sad.
Little Timmy's gonna be sad.
You just have to bring out. I think before the game is important. Be like, look at this model I just painted. And you're like, oh man, you know what happens to freshly painted models, right?
Model syndrome.
And Just put it in the universe. Like,
Yeah.
just put it in the universe that their freshly painted model is going to die a horrible, hideous death, and it's never going to roll anything good because they're going to die. And it might not be true. It's just like a superstitious like convention. You know what I mean? But just propagate it. Propagate that suspicion and that like convention from the beginning of the game. Oh, it's brand new. Oh, that means it's going to die first, right? And then if they don't want it to die, they will play smart with it.
Yeah, I think the best, if you're talking about, if it's an escalation league too, it's just trying to get people into the hobby. So I understand your hesitation with it. I know I know what you're talking about because I've had those situations before too. The best thing I've found to do is, and I hate saying it because I don't want to seem condescending to the person you're playing, but help them play it. Like when they move it to a spot that you know you're going to fuck it up, tell them like, look, if you put that there, all these guns are going to shoot it, and it will probably die. Like, so it's almost like preventing the gotcha of that you're just going to get fucked. You know what I mean? So if they're playing this model, they're saying, well, this new dreadnought they painted, they put it right out in the open in the middle of objectives. They just tell them, okay, if you want that to live, maybe you should put it behind that wall right now, or ask them like, so what's your plan with that unit? Like because you're not even shooting anything right now, or you're shooting this one thing. Is there a reason you're not in cover? Like, do you just kind of pose the question like, so what's your plan with it? Because my plan on my turn is going to be to kill it, and I probably will where it is right now. If you put it behind that wall or whatever, I may not. Just help them play it so they feel like they're going to get the value out of it before you fuck it up. Or
You wait.
You wait.
You wait. Yeah, you wait.
You wait.
You wait for them to put their freshly painted Lancer in the open to shoot your unit that you then loan up strat and then go, haha, gotcha, and then you shoot it to death.
Well, that's the way to get kicked out of your local game store, I think. Or like, guess the way to never play the game again.
Out. Damn it. I don't condone this behavior, but little Timmy has to learn.
Wow. Okay, that is not the way to go about that. But
oh man, why does the best part of me come out on the podcast?
That's awful. Who is this? What the fuck happened to you?
I'm a try-hard scrub. That's who I am.
Try-hard scrub. That is the worst combination of person. The worst.
A petulant whack player because I know my rules.
God. Ugh,
to bring back an oldie but a goodie.
That's not an oldie. It's always about that. We always said that's part of it.
I know my rules, so I'm a petulant whack player.
You actually read left to right the whole way?
I read like after a full stop. I keep on reading.
I have audio evidence to the contrary, but we'll
oh man,
one of the downsides.
Why did you have to be a lawyer here?
That's right. I'm being a podcast lawyer. Go fuck yourself, Scary.
Oh man,
that's right.
I thought I was going to be given special treatment because this is my first podcast and I just painted it.
I don't care if you just painted yourself. You ain't surviving past round one. So that's just go sit down.
Dang it!
Go sit down.
Now I'm gonna go be sad.
You should go be sad. But I think that is the best way to do it, just to help them play it. So you want them to feel like they got as much value out of it as possible. But at the same, like,
that's actually a very reasonable thing to say. Like I like the idea of sort of helping them. Like it's first of all, if it's an escalation, you're right. It's probably newer players, which totally went over my head here, right? Because I'm thinking like you're specifically escalation, which is usually people who are starting a faction or brand new, and they're probably not that. Like they're probably relatively young. I'm like,
if it's competitive, Timmy, fuck Timmy. All right, that's.
If it's this little, I feel like this little sign, like a little name tag that says
competitive Timmy.
I'm competitive Timmy. And you go around, you just go up to his face. Fuck you, Timmy.
Fuck you, Timmy. Oh God! I really hope nobody does that because both of us are going to do that if we see.
You gotta make a T-shirt that says "Competitive Timmy," please. Oh my God! I'm crying. I'm laughing. Or that, or I'm just really tired, and this is not as funny as I think.
It's a combination of the two, I think.
Oh my gosh, the power of the internet, says chat. Absolutely.
That's right. That's
Oh
right.
my gosh.
Oh,
Oh
we do have one
man,
more question
it's
in
so
chat, so I
funny.
should get to
Fuck
that
you,
before we.
Timmy.
Fuck you,
Fuck
Timmy.
you,
Fuck
Timmy.
you, competitive Timmy. Fuck you, competitive Timmy.
Fuck.
All right.
Okay, okay. Escalation League Timmy gets a pass.
Escalation, Timmy gets a pass, but competitive Timmy, fuck that guy. Fuck
Fuck
that
that
guy.
guy.
Kick him in the face. That's the end of competitive Timmy. That's it. We're not gonna put up with that
Never
shit.
come back.
We're not gonna put up with his newly painted shit anymore. This is
Oh my
ridiculous.
gosh. Oh my god. Yeah, why you even try, Timmy?
Just don't bother. Don't bother,
I'm
Timmy.
sorry, we're laughing.
Get it,
People don't like this on podcasts.
get an
Oh my
airbrush,
god.
get an airbrush or something.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Real serious. Real serious. We talked about fuck Timmy. We're gonna move on to a different conversation.
The last question.
Oh
I want to chat
my God.
during the live chat, so we'll go over this one now. What's your thoughts on quick measuring or someone who moves the models without measuring?
Terrible.
Fuck
That's like
competitive
bad
Timmy.
form. That's competitive Timmy.
That's competitive
Needs to
Timmy,
be
and
kicked
fuck
in the
that
head.
guy.
Actually, there's a reason. Something I love. I got these like laser cut plastic plexi measuring sticks. They're like 1 inch thick, and they're like 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches.
Yep.
And as soon as I notice my opponent moves one model without really caring about movement, they get sticks for the rest of the game. I would be like, hold on, before you move that model, I'll say it. I'll be like, hold on, before you move anything, here's the stick.
Here's a stick.
Right?
I see you don't
Or
have
I'll
a
be
measuring
like-
tape, or you don't know how to use it.
I was saying, no, they have a measuring tape. I'll be like, nope, not happening. Right? Or like one of the things that I find, like this might be just being an asshole, like me being an asshole inadvertently. I feel like sometimes I come across that way. But if it's competitive Timmy and they're, say, moving over a wall, this is one of my little pet peeves. We'll get to this eventually. But moving over a wall and not measuring from the back of the base.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the time, a model can't actually fit on the other side of the wall, but people give themselves that extra inch or half an inch or whatever to just go on the other side of the wall. And that's a small thing, but like, no, your model can't clear the
Is it a
wall.
small thing, though? Because being on the other side
Sure,
of the wall...
it's not a small thing. It's a big thing, and competitive Timmy is just being an asshole because I killed his favorite model. Okay?
Yeah, see,
And
now
so
he's
now
just
there's a grudge. Now there's just a thing happening. So yes, I would say I would be proactive about that stuff. Right? Like it's not fun. If somebody's gonna like make a charge, make sure you like measure. Like I don't know if we did a whole episode on pre-measuring and stuff like that, but that could be a whole episode.
We did.
Or
we
can go back
did.
to it. But like pre-measuring is important.
Yep.
And what are my thoughts? So just thoughts on quick measuring is like you need to slow it down.
Yeah.
Like you need to actively get involved and be like, ho ho ho, wait a second. Like even if it's on my time, just put it on my time real quick. Let's just double check this measurement, please. You know, like it's important that you don't just like, and I find a lot of the times it's with like people quickly measuring go, oh yes, I make it onto this objective. I'm like, whoa, don't like, let's see if you do. Cause a lot of the times perspective means you do, but it's really, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. For sure. I think it's important.
That's my 2 cents.
It is definitely important to just kind of jump in. It's like, okay, well, let me just double check because I want to make sure. Because I even putting it out there, it's like, well, I pre-measured that you wouldn't be in like shooting range or wouldn't be able to get an angle or that kind of stuff, so you can have your excuse to go and help them measure too. Because if they're doing it quickly, they're like, oh, well, how far do they move? And then just kind of do it yourself too, because it's not. It gets out of hand quickly if you don't nip it in the butt. That's the thing. If they'll start. A lot of them will start doing that just haphazardly, and then it gets out of hand if you don't call them on it sometimes, because either they just get comfortable or take advantage of it, whatever the case might be. It's just important to kind of point out that you're noticing it, if nothing else. 9 times out of 10, when you pointed out that you're noticing it, they will correct it.
Yeah. And a lot of the times it's not malicious.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like at the end of the day, most of the time it's not malicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. It's not. They're not trying to be jerks about it, right? But it is something that like people just want to play the game, and some people don't rate it as a thing that you should be too particular about.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people play the game with movement and distances between movements being a little bit more lax. right? Like they'll just kind of move their models, and they're used to playing like that with their game group and their friends.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that's sort of like how they have played their little escalation league before they went to the big leagues.
Yep.
Right? And so now they come to a tournament or whatever, and sort of like the expectations have changed in the sense that, like, you know, going around a wall with a pivoting tank, you sort of have to take it step by step. They can't just like bendy tape measure their big monster 12, really 13 inches. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Around this wall or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, well, that'll cover.
Yes, give them a sticking.
Give them a sticking.
Give them a sticking.
Yep.
Just be like, you get a sticking. I find the question that I like to do is, how much do they move, or how far do they move?
Yep.
Like, I'll be like, wait, how far do they move?
Yeah, wait, how far do they move?
And they'll be like, 6 inches. I'm like, okay.
That was definitely 9.
You know, yeah, that was. I felt that was a little. It's like it was right here, right? And I put 6 inches. Oh, that's 6 inches is like 3 base lengths backwards.
Yeah, he's a little farther, but
I think he's a little far.
You scooch him back like 6 inches.
Actually, one of the best ways to do it is if somebody deployed on the line, right? And you have like a 12-inch or whatever the deployment line is, and they're like, you're feeling that they go, okay, so they deployed on the line, and it's been one turn, and you move 10 inches. So let's measure from your board edge, right? Board edge plus deployment plus 1 turn of movement, and they're like a base past that, and you're like, that's mathematically impossible.
Yeah.
Right? That's like the ultimate like test is like you just do the full distance from where they kind of like from the board edge, because the board edge doesn't change.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, that's great. We talked about a lot of stuff today. We talked about how to gotcha / like how to prevent gotchas.
Well,
how to gotcha, how to prevent gotchas, how to get a palate cleanser, how to what was the other one we talked about? How to make little Timmy's life miserable.
How to kick Timmy in the face.
Yeah. What was the third thing we talked about?
Timmy. There was 3 things.
Competitive Timmy.
I mean,
there was 3 things.
Not really.
I'm pretty sure we talked about 3
events
things.
and then 2 different kind of topics. It's okay. If you want to know what we talked about, go back and listen to it again.
I guess we did talk about a couple of events. That was fun. I enjoyed that. And we will be back in a couple of weeks, I hope.
Yeah, we got to talk about the event that we're going to be going to, the team event that we're going to that weekend.
When is that?
That's
it's going to be the weekend. Is the weekend
so
right after,
talk about
right?
It yet, but all I can say is that our lists.
Excited!
Ooh, it's going to be juicy.
That's on the 21st.
21st.
Yeah, the 21st. The 21st. It's just a one-dayer. So one day, 8-person team event, which is fantastic at Torchlight.
Yep.
And we're taking a crack squad, and it's going to be awesome. So stay tuned for the next episode.
We'll talk about that in the next episode. We'll do the pet peeves in the next episode too.
Pet peeves. You know what one of my pet peeves is?
Competitive Timmy.
You pulled it right out of my head, sir.
Fuck that guy.
Of course, thanks all for listening, everybody. We really appreciate it. You know, here on Starter Scrub, we have 2 for players who talk about Warhammer and other stuff. If you'd like to support what we do have the Patreon, where you can head on over and help us cover like hosting costs and stuff. We also have cool t-shirts, dice, and other merchandise that you can find in the links. We do have a Discord link, which you can find as well, wherever you find the link. Randomly, wherever Dustin decides to put it.
I put it in the chat in this live stream, actually. We already got
you did. You did. You kind of have to find the Discord link. Like, we don't just post the Discord link randomly. Like, you have to, like, actively want to be part of the Discord. So you have to, like, look for the link. Correct. So look for the link.
And of course, coming in there with bots and shit. Then competitive Timmy will come in.
Nope, not allowed. Instant ban. We also have the Facebook page. If you'd like to review the podcast, we'd appreciate that. Leave a like, share, comment, subscribe. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Other than that, you're all amazing. Thanks a lot for listening, and we'll be signing off until next time. Deep from the trash can.
Fuck you, Timmy!